Saf getting in that car and rushing over as soon as he can to try and get this player before the backup arrives. It is Durant and Taken and Hart are all now pinned down, and it looks like Saf, Zayt, and Stretch are just pinning them in and trying to close this one out quickly, Monster.
Yeah, and this time around they have shield to do it as well. Looking a lot different than some of the other drop spot. But if it takes all this shield just to win an early game, I mean, I don't know how much confidence that can be for you. But Saf's going to find some big beams here. He tucks them right in between, and the follow-up comes up as well. Using that, you know, big pistol right there to find that shot. And oh, baby. Okay, the follow-up as he goes down there. Unfortunately, the Siphon's going to go down to his down body. But still, a big frag for them. All catching one piece.
Calg, Zexor, and Macwood are going to be coming at all, because looks like the first time I think in this entire tournament they're contested at Craggy. It's going to be Crumbler now trying to clutch this one out, and he does. He takes down Macwood, so it's a 1v1 situation, I believe, to see if Crumbler can actually win it out, and I think he does. I think he took down all three there, and he gets the revive off. No! So Macwood, Zexor, and Calg have just lost Craggy.
And they do have to be careful. They're rolling right through that Bucky Creo Kanata territory, right through Jack Acorn Slacks territory. Here's a little highlight, though, of a battle that went down. Here's Avery's perspective, trying to come into back up. Jamper and crew, Booga inside. It's Ved who rotates in with Leo and Nate. Do they win it? Yes, it looks like they are on the winning end of this. Big shots being found. Not too bad, though, but the tags,
this is a rotate in, Monster. I think this is contested. I think we're finally getting Star contested. I think this team's dropped here, and that's why they're over at the hangar just looking at Avery's loot. There's no way they had time to loot. That means they've dropped on him, but they've been taken out.
When he's on top, it's like you can never win, right? People are always going to give the excuses. It's because he's uncontested. Now he's getting contested, so what can you say when they win the drop spot?
And you can see why they're getting uncontested, right? People don't take into account. There's a reason why some teams are uncontested and others aren't. It's because of that resume. We can sit at home. I've never versed Booger. I don't know. Maybe some people watching have. Maybe you ran into Booger in Arena. I'm going to guess how it went. He's not a player that you want to fight. There's a reason why these players with big resumes get uncontested drops. It's because they're very, very scary to fight.
And that's a good reason as to why you saw Nanolite and crew holding out this drop spot right here, because that's where you're going to find all those free tags. So you're watching Storm Surge strategies come into play, but more importantly, it's an ambush tactic, and now it's a funnel for so many different opponents. Tragic, Snake, and Simple here, another top 10 team, are going to collide with the top 3 team here, and Tragic is going to eat a big shot. That was hidden. They were behind the wall. They step out with the right camera peek, and you can see they were greeted him right there inside the farmhouse. And oh man, what a huge knock and a huge setback, honestly, for Snake.
It looks like they're aggressively pushing. Knight is up on top of this. This team is playing aggressive. I don't know if they're going for the fight or they're trying to go for the positioning. Oh no, they're definitely going for the fight. Never mind. They answer that question very quickly as Shark is full sending it towards Nick Air 30's team right now. And unfortunately, we might see them fall, gets taken out of the sky. And man, this is just full on brutal assault right now. They're walking forward and just charging this team with full confidence.
This is what happens when you find only 2, so the formula is already set, 3v2. They have the advantage, and a team like this, one so coordinated as Shark, AV, and Knight, you know they're going to be looking to get super aggressive here. AV working from the side, Knight's doing the same, and Shark's pressuring from underneath. So all the strategy in play there seems like it's going to work out for them as they're pushing all the way inside now. The ramp booster set up, but the running, okay, so Ops is actually going to get away. He's going to go all the way up top. Looks like another team stepped in to back up here. Who's this here? Actually, it might be the rest of the crew. Ops possibly did. Oh, yeah, so he did have a player alive. For a second, I thought it was just Nick and Ops from... Yeah, it has to be.
I think it might be Glaze. Glaze is a bit off to the side. I'm pretty sure what happened here, and it was insanely smart. I think AV threw a crash pad that bounced Glaze away, and then that was the mark for this team to full sprint onto Ops and Nick Air 30 while they were split. So I think they made that 2v3 equation themselves. So ridiculously smart play here to take out this team, and looks like Glaze has to now go on and solo clutch it. And AV, Knight, and Rogue Shark have found their elimination and their tags as Booger, Jamper, and Avery are pushing in, and we now have our first place team getting sprayed out by our second place team.
Here it is, though. Can Creo, Bucky, and Kanata put on the pressure, put the force onto the rest of this lobby here? Whew. Take a look here. When Kanata initiates a fight, he has a success rate of over 78%, the highest in NAE.
Off their rotate, because yeah, as much as the taxi is, it gets a lot of attention. If you're driving a taxi off a giant cliff, you're going to get a lot of eyes on you.
100%, and that's the reason why it makes so much noise, and it's really just a big pot, though. They do have big pots. They have med kits. Okay, they have everything they need to come back. It's going to be all right, but what's more important is getting to this next 4th zone The fact that shots are coming in, I mean, they're burning through that precious material. You're not going to find much of it anymore moving forward. And what a shot there as they find Chaotic. He was left behind, and Pandoosh is going to collapse onto paper in the feed. So that's going to wipe them completely out the lobby.
I think they've almost already got more points in their first game today than all of their games yesterday.
Oh my gosh. Definitely, and NAE's showing just that. Remember, this is your NA West champion right here. He won this with, honestly, against all odds. Another region, he's going to follow up again. He's going to find Ecto, too. My gosh. That's going to be his third elimination just this game here. And looking and judging by the side, it's only him and P-God in the run right now. Oh, no.
As we've got a whole bunch of teams that need to do that with Sav, Zayt, and Stretch. I don't think they need to figure something out. Once they leave spawn, they're looking great as Clix, Bizzle, and Illest in a bit of a box fight right now, which is where Clix and Illest shine. I'm just gonna have to start combining
every
this
time,
team name because
every time you say this
me up too much.
Two huge minis there to pop off by Illest. Now to follow up the Chug Splash. That's going to keep him alive and in control of the low ground layer. Remember, half in, half out is sitting right on top of these players. We talked about Mars having a good comeback day today. They have that half in, half out. The question is, what are you going to do with it? They also are up in that middle ground layer. On the other side, Xset in the comfortable position they love to be in. Low ground. Last game, they got nothing for points. It was actually just Shark who was alive at the end here. And now, finally, Knight and Av are here to back them up.
They're on the low ground as well. They've got the Shockwave. So I haven't seen this team actually have Shockwaves often. We talk about how good they are on the low ground, but maybe an actual attempt to go for high ground or a bit of a higher layer here, as they really are just comfortable down here in what is builds not even high enough to kind of, they have to duck under the builds, but this is where they play best. As this team now, unfortunately, rotating late, it is P-God. We were singing their praises, but unfortunately, game 2 not going as well as game 1. Still a decent performance, going down 16th, but I'm hoping AV, Rogue Shark, and Knight can really make something of this game and show why I have so much faith in them as a team. When they make it to endgame, they normally perform, as they also get rotating zones now. So they've got everything they need to close this one out.
You can see the 3-2-1 coming in now. The fire rate from another team. This is the second time around now. We're seeing someone like their team right now sit on the outer edge of the storm and just get absolutely targeted. It's not something you see very often, especially being inside a metal base, but for whatever reason, everyone feels like they want a piece of the action here. We haven't seen Storm Surge really trickle on this game, but not that we're not going to see it at all. That doesn't mean that it can't still be a factor. There's 44 players left alive right now, and this moving zone's about to start closing. Here it is. As I talk about it, there goes the ticker. They are 11 below. This is the biggest hurdle for the Xset crew, is finding the tags. 2 eliminations is showing you that that's not enough. You need more. These are important moments right now as they are pressuring all around. Still, nothing yet, and they're trailing behind. 80 damage below now. 30 seconds remain.
They need to. 13 players are not going to go down here, so they need to find some damage. And this is what Knight and AV are going to try and do on the backside here. When we talk about roles of trios, you're seeing it perfectly here. You have Shark at the front, building the tabs, getting their team in, and then you have AV and Knight just trying to find as many eliminations as they can on the backside, and using that time they've been given by Shark building for them to just eliminate anyone around them, as they're still now in the 8 below, so they're getting some damage in, but it needs to be more. And there it is, 170 onto Rocks. That's one way to get your Storm Surge with a heavy purple pump shot. He's back down there now, though. 2 HP and no Knight falls, so bit of a misplay. He got the elimination he needed, but he goes down as we now see Clizzle on the high ground now. Clix, Illest, and Bizzle now raining down damage, and it's not Saf, Zayt, and Stretch. I don't know what's happened to them. They had Doom's loot, they had everything they needed, but it looks like they weren't able to capitalize.
Yeah, it's already changed hands. Illest actually concluded the elim onto Saf, and you can see Clix now has the infinite gauntlets up above, and he's putting that big pressure down. So high ground was already taken by Bizzle and Illest here now, and it's theirs, and the mythical loot is theirs as well to do with. You just saw Creo for a second bounce across the bottom portion of the map. Booga and Jamper still in the game too. Avery as well, so that's a full team. I see Acorn and Slacks. Now it's looking reminiscent to day 1. The same big names coming in here for this second portion now.
We have all top 5 teams. We also have still Reverse, Day, and Mirror. So I think we have every top 5 team still in this right now, trying to push this out. We had a 3v3v3 yesterday with the top 3 teams, which is monumentous. We might have even bigger here today, as they are still taking everyone out. I see Jacques in the feed. I still see Booga in the feed. Clicks now as well. Reverse pushing through. This is about to be such a big game for the leaderboard, because whoever can try and get their footing in this one, maybe get this victory royale, is going to jump up on anyone around them, as they're all playing so consistently. You can't play good Fortnite today. You have to play phenomenal Fortnite, as Reverse goes down, unfortunately, crash padding through all the boxes. He is finally found as Miro trying to do something here with only 25 shield and 25 health. And no, he drops down and goes down, but Clix is on top of his throne right now, so high up with so much control.
That's right. He's not going to get touched. Not while he's all the way up there, though. It's Jack, though, who's causing all the havoc down here. And their team's going to have 6 eliminations. You're looking at Slacks and Acorn still alive right now. Chug Splash is going to bounce them right back into the competition. For the high ground team, though, Illest here, rounding out to 8 eliminations. So high ground is paying its way right now. And in the low ground, Jack and Acorn Slack struggling now to just try and stay alive. That pressure coming down because they're in second height is so massive that they're working their way down right now. They want to keep getting off of this pressure moment. And now, here comes the shock pads or the crash pads from up above. It is becoming more and more chaotic as now the little mountain here is going to spell disaster for everyone.
It is with those Dooms Mythics just putting so much pressure down, all the splash damage just funneling those teams down and down. You've got Illest now raining crash pads down. They have shockwaves. This is going to be such a small hill that feels like a massive mountain to get up as Jacques falls, Pendush falls, everyone's going down. Haji, Acorn are so far back in this one. Illest working his way down. This is where Illest shines. When he's working his way down, he has the advantage. He will not miss a shot as he takes everyone out of this lobby. Clicks is on top. Illest is down there. So is Bizzle. Illest looking to close this one out. And I don't even know if they're able to get the last elimination as they have had such a dominant endgame and they close it out. All 3 players alive on full health, full shield, just the most dominance you can possibly have with 13 eliminations. Clicks getting 0 of them on the high ground.
Indeed, indeed. Let's take a look at our leaderboard. Currently, Jamper, Booga, and Avery locking it down. Creo, Bucky, and Kanata, though, only 10 points behind. They're starting to fall back a little bit.
Yeah, Day, Miro, and Reverse get to have a say in staying in the top 5 just because they also made it somewhat into that end game. Unknown, Casper, and Snack because of Clix' teams. When